But guess what you're still doing? They're still taking money out of your paycheck for federal taxes. So how come I haven't already gotten an 8.3% reduction in my federal tax for the year? Are we going to see a huge refund back for that? Are we going to get that whopped off our taxes? Bet you we fucking don't. Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I'm sure you're all well aware of what's going on with the government shutdown currently. And starting next week, yes, the start of the month, there's going to be some massive things happening. SNAP benefits will be turned off, food stamps. Most likely our service members will not be getting paid, and we are already seeing the consequences of this. The media might not be showing you. There's already been massive runs on grocery stores. Looting has already commenced. Yes, this is going to turn into a shit ton of civil unrest, because the one thing you can't take away from the populace without huge consequences is food. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps the channel. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. So the government shutdown is on its 27th day, quickly moving next week, about to break the record at 35 days for the longest government shutdown in American history. A lot of people are saying they're not feeling the effects of it. I can promise you America is about to feel the effects of it on November 1st. Now, before I give you my America First opinion about this, let's talk about the actual numbers, and we'll start with the SNAP benefits. Now, you see a ton of people saying, good, these people are lazy, they don't deserve it. You see some people super pissed off. We'll get to that in a second, but let's actually just look at the numbers first. So this is 2024 data, but probably close to what we got now. Annual cost of funding SNAP benefits, $100 billion approximately. The monthly average cost, about $8.3 billion per month. Okay, participants, yes, about 44 million people last year received SNAP benefits each month. 44 million. That's almost 1 in 6 Americans. So I can guarantee you a lot of people you know personally, even if they haven't told you, are probably using food stamps. Average monthly benefit per person, $187. Average monthly benefit per household, $450. Now, I can tell you, me, family of 4, living in Oregon, that's like 1/4 of what our grocery costs are. All right, so let me give you my opinion up front on this before we jump into the massive consequences we're about to see for America and our local communities. Okay. You're going to see a lot of people say, again, that these people are lazy, they're freeloaders, they're just living off the system, they should get out and get a job, right? Now, that is definitely true for a lot of people who are on SNAP benefits. However, conversely, it's also not true for a ton of people who are on SNAP benefits, who are people who are working full-time jobs, including service members up to the rank of E6 at times, can qualify for food SNAP benefits. This actually demonstrates a much, much larger problem than people realize. The fact that we have 1 in 6 people qualifying for food stamps, 40 plus million Americans, is a testament to how shitty this economy actually is. Prices have gone up for the last 6 years at an insane inflation rate. Wages have basically not gone up at all, and that continues to work on that path, and it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And then let me say this, as an America First person, the way I look at this, are there a ton of freeloaders off the system? Yes, but guess what? You know who the biggest beneficiary to SNAP benefits and food stamps are? Is children. So I'm not the type of American that's going to cheer off making American children go hungry just because maybe their parents haven't been that responsible. I would much rather prefer that people who may not deserve it get these benefits so that our neediest children actually don't have starving stomachs. That's just me personally. And what I'll also say as an American First person, and we looked at the numbers, $8 billion per month. Well, guess what? We just bailed out and sent $40 billion to Argentina. So they could turn around and sell their soybeans and cattle to China instead of us gutting the American agriculture and ranchers. So we just gave 5 months worth of SNAP benefits to Argentina. Argentina trades with us at like less than 5% of our GDP. It's like a couple percent. They're not even a big trading partner. They're not a close ally. Not to mention the billions of dollars we keep sending to Israel so that the IDF can help health insurance and food benefits. So no, you cannot convince me that it's a better use of our money to send $40 billion to Argentina rather than to feed low-income American families. And let's be very clear, that's probably also going to multiply on top of the fact that our military is about to not get paid. I know the White House tried to come out and say a private donator is donating $120 million to pay for the troops. Do you understand the numbers on that? Let me break these wild numbers down real quick for those of you who don't understand what they're saying by this donation. There's 1.2 million service members. $120 million, it's $100 a service member. That's not about to pay our troops. So let's talk about some downwind consequences nobody's talking about. And that is, what do you think is going to happen when 40 million Americans don't have money for food? Well, we already know what's happening. They're already starting massive looting runs on grocery stores.
That concerns local store owners like Angel Pimentel, who owns Maduro Fish Market in Pine Hills.
I feel afraid.
Afraid for the business?
For my business and also for the people because, they don't have no money to eat.
He estimates around 40% of his customers pay with EBT cards.
And you're going to see, of course, people involved with that are looting electronics and kind of other shits, taking advantage of what's going on. But imagine what's going to happen later in the month when all their food's gone, or 2 months from now, because it doesn't look like this shutdown's going anywhere. For a reason. Both sides, Democrats and Republicans, seem to think that this is an advantage for them. Democrats don't want to reopen the government because regardless of what the polls will tell you or the Schumer shutdown people will tell you, at the end of the day, as longer this goes and people start starving and can't afford anything and are going into massive credit card debt, they're not going to keep blaming the Democrats. They're going to blame the president. They're going to blame the people in power, in charge of the government. That's Republicans. That will shift eventually, I promise you. Building into the 2026 midterm elections. And Republicans definitely don't want the government open back up. You might see them have said, oh, well, we voted yes for it. Yeah, but you've also only had Congress in session 12 days out of the last 3 months. Not even there trying to debate or figure it out to reopen the government. And to my point with that is, I don't think we should expect the government to reopen anytime soon because neither side wants it open. And also, Republicans, if they reopen the government, they'll have to swear in Adelita Gravala, and she'll be the 218th tie-breaking vote to release the Epstein files. So what do you guys think is going to happen if we go multiple months with 40-plus American people without SNAP benefits, without food? You're going to have massive social unrest. It's going to be runs on local grocery stores. People are going to be looting, rioting. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe we want civil unrest because there's something to be said that at the same time this is happening, we are now going to start putting National Guard troops through riot training and all sorts of different civil unrest handling processes. All right, and then let's talk about the other massive consequence that people don't seem to understand is going to happen, and that's going to be the effect of the economy in your local community to small businesses in your communities, businesses in general. Because it's like people don't understand all this SNAP benefit money. Where does it go? It goes to American citizens who then do what with it? They go out to their local grocery stores, convenience stores, local small businesses, regular businesses, and they spend that money. That money is directly influxed back into your local economies. So what do you think is going to happen to the local small business near you? They're going to take a massive hit in their revenue. There's going to be businesses that potentially are shutting down because of this. These are second and third order effects people aren't thinking about. Your local grocery stores, meat markets, farmers who are trying to sell their food, all of this is going to be affected. 40 plus million people are no longer going to be spending that money. You may think that's a good thing, and that's fine, that's your opinion, but I will continue to say, as long as our country continues to send things like $40 billion to random countries, while American people don't have food stamps, while service members are not going to get paid, you can't convince me that we have any resemblance of anything that's America first right now. And I'll tell you this, you know what you should be really pissed off about? Government shutdowns basically at a month now. And it's going to continue probably, who knows how long. I would assume probably at least another month. Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Who knows? We'll find out. But guess what you're still doing? They're still taking money out of your paycheck for federal taxes. So how come I haven't already gotten an 8.3% reduction in my federal tax for the year? 16% after 2 months, 24%. Are we going to see that? Are we going to see a huge refund back for that? Are we going to get that whopped off our taxes? Bet you we fucking don't. All the while, American politicians in Congress continue to collect their money while they aren't even at fucking work. Like I showed you, they've been at work 12 days in the last 90. This is a big vacation for them. So while you're out there cheering on that Trump's owning the libs by cutting off SNAP benefits to poor Americans and their children, instead of realizing that this is a we the people versus the government problem, not only that, do you understand how many Republicans are also receiving SNAP benefits? Let me give you a reminder. Roughly 27% of SNAP benefits go to Republicans and another 27% to independents. So yes, more to Democrats, but still, this is affecting everyone across the political aisle. So our government better get their shit together real fast. And all the people who are cheering this on, you should probably look down the road a little bit and understand this is going to have negative impacts on everyone in America the longer this goes on. So have a little empathy. Cut the right versus left bullshit. These politicians don't care about you at all on either side. We, the people, have to look out for ourselves. And as long as they keep you divided and laughing at each other for owning the other side, nothing's going to change. And I'll tell you this, when the first rolls around and our military ain't getting paid, this channel is going to be bitching up a real firestorm. So stay safe out there. I would highly suggest you go and prepare yourself, stock up on food, water, and essentials, because there is a high likelihood that you will start seeing runs on grocery stores and different stores for food and supplies because people don't have money. So just something to consider. We'll just have to see what happens. I hope that we get this shit figured out pretty quick, because if we start going month on month on month, it's going to get real, real ugly in this country real fast. So that's going to do it for this one. I'll catch y'all in the next video.